I said I'd do a video on it, and I'm going to do a video on it on the thing I got. The touch probe is what it's called. But first, I got all the parts for the pendant for the CNC machine. It's called the Fluid Dial CNC pendant, and it was invented by Design 8 Studios, and it's for the V1 uh, CNC machine. This is the logo of the company that created the CNC machine I'm building. So I just have to wire it up. I got connectors. I got wire connectors, but the connectors are wrong. I don't know why it suggested that I buy those, but I can use them somewhere else. But I think I've got the right connectors for these. Just a regular. It's not these. These are not the right ones. These have a little buckle, and that doesn't have a buckle in it. So for a buckle to go. Anyway, but slowly but surely we're getting this together. But this thing is really cool. This is called a touch probe. This is just a double-sided foam pad for this thing, which is the receiver. It's a remote receiver. Wi-Fi, I think. Yeah, connected via Wi-Fi. Puts out its own Wi-Fi signal, which is cool. But what you do is you put this where you can see it all the time, right? Probably by the control board or whatever. And this thing, see, when you got a CNC machine, the tool goes around and does this stuff. But how does the computer that's running the CNC program know how far the tip of this tool is above the surface of the table or the work? How does it know where it is in 3D space? Because you can go X and Y. You can zero X and Y. Sorry, right in the table. X and Y is at the bottom left end of the table. But how does it know what this is? Because different end mills, router bits, they all have different lengths. So when you put them in the router or in the chuck, in the collet chuck, how does the machine know how far it is to the end of the bit? Well, this is how it knows that. So what it does is you set your I don't know about pen. I wish I had a pen. I use my finger. But you bring your router over this thing, or you bring the router head over this thing, and then you start lowering it little by little. Pretty soon, it's hard to do this on the bed because the bed gives away, but it presses down little by little. I'm going to try and get it in a shadow until that green light comes on. And as soon as that green light comes on, it tells it sends a signal to this to tell the computer to stop and reverse. So, and there's a G code for it. G, I don't know. I don't know what the code is. Like G20, for instance. You do a G20, it'll go down and it'll press till it triggers the green light, and then it'll come up and it'll do it again, and it may do it a third time depending on how you set it up in the software. But then it knows right there is where your Z offset is. And then you take this number here, 45 millimeters, 3/8 inches or 45 millimeters. That's how far the cutter was above the bed. If I take a micrometer and I squeeze it till that light comes on. It's going to measure 45 millimeters. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to double check it and make sure it's accurate. But that's the new tool. Wasn't too expensive. I think 49, 45 bucks or something like that. But it's nice. Nymo Labs really has put out a lot of nice stuff for CNC machining, CNC routers mainly. But yeah, this thing will go. It's got a magnet, so like here's my scissors. It'll connect to like a metal panel. It'll stick to a metal panel, or it also came with foam, double stick foam that's cut the same size as it, so you can stick it to plastic if your controller board is, or your controller enclosure is plastic. So I just think it's a really cool tool, and it's not that big. It's real small, fits in the palm of your hand easily. But yeah, and it'll also put out an audible beep when it does it. So if you're doing it manually, which I'll probably be doing it manually mainly, you gradually lower the head like 0.01 inches at a time until that thing comes on. And you read then you tell the thing, or right then that that's the offset. So you put that in at that point on the Z-axis. There's a line for the Z-axis. And that you put in negative 34 millimeters, I think is how or negative 45 millimeters. And that tells what that means. 45 millimeters down from where you have it in the negative direction is 0. So you're telling it where 0 is on the Z-axis. So it's just a cool tool. Wasn't too expensive, and it will come in very, very, very handy in the future. It's even got like screws in the bottom, screw holes, the brass holes there, the 4. So you can mount it to your workspace permanently or semi-permanently. You have to open it up to change a battery. I kind of wish it was rechargeable, but it's not. But yes, probe. It's a probe sender. It's the probe sender, and this is the probe receiver. So, and it doesn't do anything unless it's powered. And it came with some connectors, kind of like these, but ones that fit. And you wire it from here to your control board to the probe connector, and it tells the probe it becomes your Z probe, and there's G code you can write for it and do for doing it. So anyway, and this thing's cool. This is the pendant. This is a touch screen. It's a rotary touch screen, and it's got a nice tactile feel to it. It actually clicks. You can hear it. And it also is a push button. So you can touch the screen to go into different modes or change temperature or whatever. Like if you want to change, if this was for a like a 3D printer, for instance, if you wanted to change like the temperature of the heating bed, you click on the heating bed temperature, and then you can adjust it by turning the dial, and then you can click it and confirm your adjustment. Or it's got 2 buttons, a red button and a green button. Green is I think it's going to be for like running the programs, like an emergency stop or a stop or go back, or however it works. I'll have to figure it out. There's a whole bunch of instructions. This didn't come with instructions. It came with a code that you scan, like everything else nowadays. And yeah, it's a Wi-Fi, ESP32 S3 Wi-Fi, a rotary encoder, timer, and these don't have to be used. Hey, Lisa, these don't have to be used for like CNC. These people are putting these in their houses to like adjust their smart homes because it's Wi-Fi, and you can program them to adjust anything that they're connected to. It's a really interesting device. Here's the back of it. It tells you all the things that are on it, that are in it. It's but yeah, it's pretty cool. Connected by USB. That's where that's where you do the programming. So I've got to do that. I got to wire it up. Still need to get some plywood for the base for the table. And that's going to be a big purchase. That's going to be about $120 purchase. Because I have to get two sheets of plywood. One ply, like a 1/2-inch ply, and the other one is going to be a like a MDF board. It's looks like compressed sawdust. It's not the one with a big like sheets of ply of veneer that are stuck all together. It's real fine, like particle board. That's going to be the spoil board, and it'll have slots cut for T-rail, so I can clamp the work down. Don't always have to like glue it down or screw it down and clamp it. But yeah, after the wood, then I'll be able to set the whole thing up, finish assembling it and putting it together and programming it. But I think the programming for the CNC main board is pretty straightforward. It's just you load up. It's not like a 3D printing where you have different types of ways of doing certain things. With CNC, it's more straightforward. Just X, Y, Z, and getting from one point to another. It's CNC. It's the same thing, but it's different. If you can understand that, if you can follow. But yeah, this thing's getting closer. I thought it'd be cheaper, but it's not. Turned out it isn't. But yeah, I've always wanted a CNC machine, and I've always been a woodworker, so this kind of fulfills two things at once. So yeah, so I've got the probe, got the touch probe. This thing. Rewind if you want to see it work, but it does work. I want to test it, see if it's calibrated right. Yeah, the MBWPT X5 wireless probe, and it actually came with a user manual, which is really awesome. But yeah, it's coming along. I said I was going to do a video explaining how the probe worked, and I'm doing that. So that's about it. I think I want to go over Flatzoid's latest live stream later today. It's what? 12? Probably a couple hours. I'll get the computer going and do that. But yeah, that's all. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later, Lisa.